What's going on, dudes? The date is Thursday, January 18th, 2024. And today I just wanted to talk about an experience I had. For whatever reason, recently I've been on Facebook Marketplace a lot, just browsing. And I discovered this interesting listing where a lady was selling some leather scraps, and you may be thinking to yourself, the fuck are leather scraps? But really, that's irrelevant. But I guess I will elaborate a little bit. So basically, in my personal life, I like to do crafts. I like to create things. I like to work with my hands. So I have a collection of different fabrics, different materials that I use to make accessories, modify clothes, different stuff like that. But as I said, that's besides the point. So the reason I'm telling you about this is because I live in the Midwestern region of the United States. And as of right now, I believe the temperature is... okay, right now it's 25 degrees, so that's not too bad. But the low in the past few weeks has been something like negative temperatures. And even for the rest of the week, I think we have lows about 0 and 1 degree. So it's really a pain in the fucking ass because, well, I'm not built for the cold, I'll put it that way. Anyway, the weather has basically been really cold. And the way that I get around, because I don't drive as of yet, is I ride a electronic bike, e-bike for short. So when I go on adventures, I am basically out in the elements, even though it is better than just having a regular bike, because I don't have to expend physical energy to move. It basically, you can think of it as a low-powered electric motorcycle. I just activate the throttle and I go. I found this listing on Facebook Marketplace and I'm like, yeah, I like the look of this. I'm gonna go get it. So I messaged the woman and she gives me the address of where I can pick this item up. And so I'm going on my little merry adventure. You dig what I'm saying? And here's something else that you may or may not know. iPhones, or maybe it's just phones in general, smartphones, there's this phenomenon where when the weather is cold, it can basically cause the battery to short out unexpectedly, even though you technically still have power on the device. This is relevant because when I'm going to new places, I use my phone as my GPS. I have a thing where I attach the phone to my bike handlebars, and so basically I can ride around and look at the GPS to know where I'm going. So this lady lives in a nearby township, but I'm not actually aware of this. And this is relevant because this GPS, you have to specifically tell it that you want a bike route. Otherwise, this thing is taking me to the highway and I'm riding a vehicle that can only accelerate to about 30 miles an hour. So it's just simply not safe. Though I have done it before and I have going on little trips and stuff like that. I just basically ride on the shoulder of the road. But my point is, I'm riding around on this e-bike and the weather is freezing. Even though I'm relatively well equipped, I'm not as well equipped as I could be because I've been doing this a long time. And so anyway, I'm riding. And I finally get to the lady's house and we make the exchange. She gives me the goods. I put the goods in my basket and then I'm on my way back. But on my way back, instead of just having me go the reverse way, the GPS takes me onto the goddamn highway again. And I'm like, this is making me anxious because I'm on the highway and it's nighttime and I do have lights on my bike, but it's cold as shit and there are big semi trucks and other shit because I'm on the goddamn highway. And so I'm like, I kind of want to minimize the amount of time that I'm on there. And so I'm like looking at my GPS, and then my goddamn GPS cuts out while I'm on the goddamn highway. And I don't know this area that well that I can just navigate without it in the middle of the night. So I'm like, it's freezing, I'm getting cold, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm literally like out of luck, Chuck, you dig what I'm saying? So what I ended up doing was, luckily I was near like this roadside cafe gas station combo type thing. And so I pulled into there. Then I basically sat down inside of there and used that to charge my phone so I could call somebody to, come give me a hand or something, like, cause I'm fucking stuck basically. But my goddamn mom does not answer the phone. And I'm like, oh my God, like, oh shit. So anyway, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Cause like, there's no way I'm about to be riding in the middle of the highway this late at night. Well, I don't know if it was super late. It was only like, I don't know, 6, 7-ish at this point. But the whole thing about it is that it's cold as shit, and I'm really trying to take the easy way out, but it was what it was. But anyway, I'm in there for a bit. I get my bearings back, and I'm like, no matter how I look at it, I'm gonna have to figure this out myself. So the good thing is that my e-bike battery is pretty reliable. My e-bike in general is pretty reliable. So I'm basically like, okay, the best way to do this is, now that my phone is charged, I'm about to put in a route for bikes and see if I can take the back roads back, because it originally took me along a more like a back roads type a route to begin with, so getting there was much easier. But yeah, so anyway, that's what I do. I put in the coordinates for a bicycle instead of, you know, so this thing is not gonna be trying to put me on the highway again. And I do this, I'm basically straight, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, put the coordinates in, you know, get bundled up again. And there was this guy in a restaurant, he was like staring at me, and I was like, man, what the fuck are you looking at? Like, but when I got home later, I realized it was probably because my bike, the light that I have on my backpack was probably flashing. So they were probably like, what the fuck is this, Christmas or something? But anyway, that's just a side note. So put in the coordinates, and I'm on my way back home, because I got warmed up in there, which, you know, helps me think a little bit clearer, because it was getting pretty cold outside. Not gonna lie, my pecker was frozen. It was a fucking icicle, honestly. Like, it felt like weird for a few days afterwards. Again, that's, you know, mind things. Anyway, I put in the coordinates, and then when I was on my way back home, my front light ran out of power on my bicycle. So I was like, come on. But ultimately, I did manage to navigate home. And when I put in the bike route, it basically did send me back the way I came the first time. So I just went on those old country roads, but it's still pitch black in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? So kind of anxiety inducing, but yeah, it's my little adventure or whatever that I went on. Anyway, GG.